Good morning everyone. My name is Vijay Gupta and you're watching biology classes. So welcome to all of you in this lecture of biology. Students, as we all know that currently I'm teaching you a new chapter of class 12, that is chapter number 4, the reproductive health. It is the third lecture of this chapter. In two earlier lectures I have described about the different problems related to reproductive health, strategies, and also about the amniocentesis. In this third lecture, today we will talk about the birth control or the contraception. So let's start the video. First of all, what is the contraception? What is the meaning of birth control? Contraception is actually an intentional prevention of pregnancy by artificial and natural method. If a couple do not want child, so these methods are developed to control the birth of a child. So these are called the methods of contraception. So basically the definition of contraception is contraception is a method by which we can delay the pregnancy or we can stop the pregnancy temporarily or permanently. So first of all, actually there are two basic methods of contraception. The temporary methods in which we can delay the pregnancy for 1, 2 or 3 years, and permanent methods in which we permanently stop the capacity of pregnancy in the females. So today in this lecture we will talk about the temporary methods of birth control or the temporary methods of contraception. So temporary methods are generally used by the couples, and there are various methods are included in temporary phenomena. So first one we will talk about the natural methods. Natural methods are those methods in which we do not use any type of chemical, any type of intrauterine device, any barrier. So these are naturally occurs. So first natural method is temporary avoidance of sex or the periodic absence. In this method, a couple avoid sexual intercourse just after the menstruation. There is a great possibility of fertilization just after menstruation till the ovulation. So during these days, a couple must avoid sex to prevent the pregnancy. So it is called temporary avoidance of sex or periodic absence. As we know that ovulation occurs in the 14th day of menstrual cycle. During that time, if a sperm enters into the fallopian tubes, then fertilization may occur. So to prevent the pregnancy, it is very safe period. Now the second method is coitus interruptus. What is the meaning of coitus interruptus? In this method, the male withdraws its penis just before the ejaculation from the vagina of the female to avoid the insemination inside the female's reproductive tract. So with the help of this method, sperm and ova will not fuse and pregnancy will not be possible. So this is an effective method, but it is very difficult especially for the male, because at that time that is the most pleasant time for the male. So it's difficult for male to ejaculate outside of the vagina, but it is a natural method to prevent the pregnancy. Now the next one is lactational amenorrhea method. Now what is the meaning of amenorrhea? Amenorrhea means to stop the menstrual cycle. Just after parturition or just after delivery, if a female continues the breastfeeding to her newly born baby, so at that time no menstruation takes place. It is called lactational amenorrhea, which results no pregnancy. So it is also an effective method to prevent the pregnancy. Now these were some natural methods in which we are not using any barriers, any intrauterine device or any chemicals to prevent the pregnancy. These methods are naturally occurs. Now the next category is barrier methods. In barrier methods, we prevent the fusion of sperm and ova. We use some barriers which prevent the fusion of sperm and ova. So some common barriers are, number one is condom. Condoms are actually available for male as well as for female, and these are easily available on any medical store in India and also in other countries. So condoms are especially made up of rubbers or latex. These are used to cover the penis or the vagina just before the copulation. So just before the intercourse, the male covers its penis with the help of condom. This is the rim, the outer part is called as rim, and one side it is closed and one side it is open. So the open area, through the open area, male insert this condom upon the penis and covers its penis completely. As the result, after the ejaculation, the semen discharge inside the condom, not inside the vagina of the female. Thus, it stops the pregnancy. Now, what about the female condoms? The female condoms, which is popularly known as femidoms, but they are not very popular in our India. In these condoms, there are two rims. One is larger while the one is smaller. And it also opens from the one end only. This female condom, one end lies to outside, while this ring enters inside the cervix of the female, which also prevent the pregnancy. So these are the condoms. Both are disposable and both are very easily available on the medical stores. So the next is cervical cap. Cervical cap is a rubber-like structure, and a cap appears like a cap. It fitted inside the cervix. So this cervical cap prevents the entry of sperm inside the uterus of the female. Next is diaphragm. It is also made up of a soft rubber and it is less broader than the cervical cap. It also acts as a barrier between the sperm and ova. It fitted inside the cervix of the female, which prevents the entry of sperm inside the vagina of the female. Another device is vault cap. Vault cap is also appears like the diaphragm, but it is less smaller. All these caps are used in a similar way, and it is also fixed in the cervix, which also prevent the entry of the sperm inside the uterus of the female. Now, one more important thing, that if these caps are used with any spermicide gel or cream or any foam tablet, then these cervical caps, diaphragms, vault cap will be more efficient. So if you want to increase the efficiency of these devices, then you can use these cervical cap, diaphragms and vault caps with the help with the spermicides. Spermicides are basically chemicals. I will tell you about these spermicide gels later in this video. So spermicide basically are the mixture of some chemicals which kills the sperm. So if we use these spermicide gels or creams with these devices, then it will be quite effective to kill the sperm, and also it will prevent the entry of sperm to the uterus of the female, so it will prevent the pregnancy. So these were the barrier methods. Now we will talk about the next category, that is intrauterine devices. These devices are actually fitted inside the uterus of the female, hence the name intrauterine devices is given. They also prevent the pregnancy temporarily. So if a female do not want to be pregnant for few years, like 2 years, 3 years and 4 years, so it can be implant these intrauterine devices inside the uterus with the help of doctor, and these are methods, these are very easily implanted with the help of doctor. So number one category is non-medicated IUDs. IUDs means intrauterine devices. So these are not releasing any chemical, any hormone, so these are called non-medicated devices. These devices fitted inside the uterus in such a manner that both these ends covers the fallopian tubes completely and prevents the entry of sperm into the fallopian tubes, because we all know that fertilization takes place inside the fallopian tubes where sperm and ova fuse together. So these ends prevents the entry of sperm inside the fallopian tubes, and this is the removal thread. With the help of this thread, this device can be easily removed from the uterus of the female. Now another one is copper releasing IUDs, which is commonly known as copper T. This device consists of a copper wire which release copper ions inside the uterus, and this copper kills the sperm and also decrease its motility and its activeness. So it is very helpful to prevent the pregnancy. So copper releasing IUDs are easily available in the market, and it can be transplanted inside the uterus of the female, which prevent the pregnancy. Now the last one is hormone releasing IUDs. Nowadays another IUD is developed, which is hormone, which consists of hormone cylinder, and this hormone cylinder release a few amount of hormones inside the uterus, and these hormones prevent the pregnancy. So it is very effective method that is hormone related IUDs. This IUD is also consists of removal thread through which it can be removed from the uterus. So these are some intrauterine devices which temporarily prevents the pregnancy for few years, like 2 years, 4 years, 5 years. So these are also very useful methods. Now we'll talk about the oral contraceptive pills and the chemical methods. These are actually the pills which are taken by the female continuously just after the menstruation. So after the menstrual cycle, a female continues these tablets, these pills till 21 days and again just before the menstruation. So these also stops the ovulation and also also prevent the pregnancy. These contraceptive pills are of two types, the mini pills and the combined pills. An example of mini pills is Saheli. Saheli, a contraceptive pill that is developed in Lucknow, CDRI, that is Central Drug Research Institute. So it is developed in the Lucknow and it is categorized under the mini pills. Actually, the basic difference between the mini pills and the combined pills is a mini pill consists of only progesterone hormone, while the combined pills consist of estrogen as well as progesterone hormone. So it is called combined pills. The example of mini pills is Saheli, which is taken once in a week, while the combined pills, which consist of estrogen as well as progesterone hormone, example Mala D, Mala N, are taken continuously without a break. So these are the pills which are quite effective. There are some side effects may occur in some females, but it is in most of the cases it is the safest method of contraception. So these are the oral contraceptive pills. And finally, we'll talk about the chemical methods. So the chemical methods are basically consist of some chemicals such as zinc sulfate, potassium permanganate, citric acid, boric acid. These are the strong chemicals which kills the sperms. So these chemicals are used to prepare some creams, some gels and some foam tablets which are popular in India also. So these methods are called chemical methods and hence they are killing the sperm. So the name spermicides is given. So the spermicides are basically the chemical containing creams, gels and jellies. It is an example of the spermicide gel. So which consist of strong chemicals and which kills the sperm. Thus they prevent the pregnancy. So this is also an effective method of contraception. So these were some temporary methods of contraception. In my next video, we will talk about the permanent methods of contraception. So the permanent methods of contraception, these were the temporary methods of contraception. So natural method, barrier method, intrauterine devices, oral contraceptive pills and chemical methods. I think all the things are very clear to you. In my next lecture, I will tell you about the permanent methods like vasectomy and tubectomy, etc. So these were some temporary methods of birth control or contraception. And I think all the things are very clear to you. Still, if you want to ask a question or any query, then you may ask in the comment section. I will try my best to reply you. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.